Hi, I'm Bran, and I love Ride.
I'm Ryan, and I like Ride.
I'm Dan, and these two guys are lying to you, and I despise Ride, and this is the
Deck the Hallmark podcast.
Deck the Hallmark, it's his podcast.
Brandon and friends host this podcast. We hope you like this jolly podcast.
Hello,
boy. Ride season 7.
Oh, dear. Dan, don't you dare!
Into the universe, episode 7, season 1.
I can say that I love Ride, because you don't know what I'm talking about. I love rides. I love going on.
You did not say you love rides.
I love rides.
Is this like an Anchorman? I love lamp.
I love ride.
Oh.
I love a good ride. A ride on a bus, like one of those new buses that are like
new
buses.
Do you remember? Did you ride the bus as a kid, Ryan?
Occasionally, sure, yeah.
So when I was a kid, we had there was bad buses and there was good buses.
There were bad buses and good buses.
No, there still are.
There was bad buses and there was good buses.
Do you mean like a field trip bus brand, like a nice like?
I mean that there were buses with air conditioning and buses without air conditioning.
Yeah. This is in Florida.
This is in Florida.
Yeah.
And I remember when we finally got one of the air-conditioned ones, it was a hodgepodge beluga for a while. It was, you never know what you're going to get. But then like they finally switched to all air-conditioned buses. I love that ride.
But even that would be, hi, I'm Brandon. I love that ride.
That's right.
I know what I'm thinking of when I say I love Ride.
You're just to be honest, and you have to do. Look, it's like when I have to say like I despise mahogany movies. Like that's not fair. That's not fair.
We know what you're saying there.
That's not fair.
You've made it clear as can be. Your thoughts on the mahogany movies.
That's not true. Been some of the better movies Hallmark's released.
Well, that's not true either.
It is.
The mahogany movies,
yes,
have been some of the best.
Yeah, out of season, like an out of Christmas season, qualitatively, they've been some of the better movies released. Yes, for sure. The one where they all go to Italy, the three women go. What was the name of that movie? Unthinkably Good Things. Absolutely, one of the better movies Hallmark's released.
What about some of them this year?
The one with the song, the Motown stuff. Definitely better than over half the movies we've done.
That's not one of the better. I'm thinking top tier boys.
One of the better means over halfway.
All right, we have different definitions.
Yeah, different definitions.
Ride.
There was bad buses and there was good buses.
I stand by it. What kind of rides do you like, Ryan?
I mean, I did have fondness for those air-conditioned good buses. At least the Connecticut branch.
Right, like roller coasters are in play here, and you're like,
I don't like roller coasters.
Oh, I mean, I'm wearing a Disney shirt right now. Give me on Mount Everest at Disney's Animal Kingdom. I'm all about it. I took a ride. I took a ride to the old Walmart the other day, and I saw that the Wedding Veil DVD was available.
Ooh.
Now, question though.
That is not a good ride.
No, yeah. It also made me think, because I know I haven't watched any of them, but I have to imagine that all of them are available then, which seems insane. But I guess you have to be a completionist at that point. Do we think Ghost of Christmas Always is getting a DVD release? I think about this once a month.
Man.
Think about it once a month. Do you have it like on a Rolodex, like of things you think about once a month?
It's in the Notes app.
Yep.
It's in the Notes app.
Is there going to be a DVD?
We could probably find that out.
Yeah,
I would say no.
I would say no.
Because
it might be on some sort of collection. Like here's a threefer of ghost related movies.
Yeah. That Jen Lilly went on Lifetime.
Yeah.
That one and Ghost of Christmas Always on a set, a 2-for set. Producer Aaron is all pre-ordered.
Yeah.
Pre-ordered the copy. That's all. She has praise hands.
Someone in the chat is telling Ryan that it's going to get a VHS release.
Well, that's just a lie.
That's not fair.
Stop.
You know what's cool about those good buses is they had VCRs.
Yeah. Oh man,
those was good buses.
Those was good buses. When you went on a field trip bus with a video player, oh my gosh.
Video player.
Forget about it. You could do anything on that bus.
We are just trying to
hey, Dan,
wind down the clock till death to not talk about this episode of television.
Real quick, Dan, we've started
to talk about it. Maybe we'll just die.
We've started to feel like maybe it's just us that is having a tough time with the show, and it turns out it's not. Would you like to read a review online?
Yeah, Google's got some
Dan's
reviews.
Weekly Review Roundup.
This is Ron Klepper.
Oh, the clip.
He's got a case of the clip.
Oh, no.
Ron Klepper yesterday left this review for Ride.
Yesterday,
he gave it one. He gave it 1 star.
Oh.
I'm going to try to read his tone as best I can.
Because you know Ron.
I know. I don't. I feel like I know a lot of Rons, though. Let's put it that way. You've done the greatest disservice to the World Rodeo that I've ever seen or heard. I was hyped and watched the first start of this series. Never watched it again. Never will. And I've told everybody that I know and I rodeoed with for over 50 years to never turn it on.
Whoa. Wow. The rodeo community is turned against Ride.
I've been a fan of Hallmark movies for more years than I care to count. He counted 50 years of rodeo.
Too much.
Is it less than 50? Because you could have just done all of that in one count.
He doesn't care to count.
I'm stopping at 12.
Hallmark hasn't been around. Hallmark Channel hasn't been around for 50 years.
While counting your 50 years of rodeo, I imagine Hallmark's in there.
Yes.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 Hallmark, 9, 10, 11, 12, 50 rodeo.
I've been a fan of horror movies for more years than I care to count. But with the counterculture and the woke direction you've taken, I only wish my children and grandchildren and great-grandchildren could have seen the great programs you once produced. So this
they
Ron,
can.
Yeah, Ron rodeoed for over 50 years.
Yeah.
He's watched Hallmark for longer than he cares to think about.
Yeah.
And the thing that he knows more than anything is that apparently there's no gay people in the rodeo.
Yeah.
That is the thing that Ron has come to terms with.
Shout out to the clap.
Yeah, that Hallmark has done wrong here. The reason Ride is bad is because it's woke.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Shout out to Ron and all the Rons out there.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's watching. So.
Oh, I'm sure he's definitely
watch on Philo.tv/DTH. Let's get to Ride. Season 1, Episode 7. Called Ride or Die.
Die. I'll choose Die, please. Can I choose Die?
Oh, is that really the name of the episode?
Yeah. Now, I don't want to take credit for this, but we've been doing this segment for 6 weeks now. I'm not saying Hallmark found out about it and went, maybe we should take that, but a cease and desist is coming.
Is headed your way.
It originally premiered on the Hallmark.
If we had a patent on the term Ride or Die,
boy,
we've been doing Ride or Die for longer than I care to count.
Longer than I care to count. That's right.
May 7th, 2023, and it went a little something like this. Missy is thinking about Austin when she gets a phone call asking her to come to Denver, the mecca of rodeo, to judge the Miss Rodeo Mountain County competition. The Miss Rodeo Mountain County competition.
Miss Rodeo Mountain County.
That's what it says it is. But since Cash is still waiting to hear the result of his MRI, she feels like it's okay to leave because it's not like he's going to be practicing or anything. Cash is a little baby about this and is like, but you're going to leave me now? Missy's like, it'll be a couple days in Denver. Chill. Isabel and Missy have a conversation about Isabel feeling like there's something that Missy isn't telling her about what happened at the barbecue. Then Missy finds out Cash is training on a mechanical bull with his injury. She's real mad about this. And he's like, okay, now it's your turn to chill. Isabel goes to a meeting about the new stadium, and she is trying to push for the town to stay at the heart of the deal. Booker is like, money's at the heart of the deal, sweetheart. Wait, one of those numbers, The girl we know, we love her. She has a name. She's been in many episodes.
Janine.
She shows up. She has a conversation.
Looking as good as ever.
As good as ever. And asks Tough if she can be in the Tough Tones. He's reluctant, but invites her to practice. There's some more arguing about the stadium deal because,
Important.
because you gotta. Hey, Cash is gonna be in a cast, so Missy's like, okay, that's fine if you want to practice because it's gonna be a hard cast.
Cast, yeah.
Once that you can't do any more damage.
There's no way you can damage a wrist.
No way you can damage a hard cast. That's the number one thing. Missy's having a good time in Denver. She's feeling like a hot shot. Big deal maker, a mover, a shaker. She goes on a hot date with Gus.
Mm-hmm.
They have a good time. Isabel shows up in Denver and it really wants to know more about this barbecue. She went all the way to Denver. Can you believe that? It's time for the big bull riding party.
Bulls and beers.
Now, what you need to know is that Austin holds the record. 23 seconds on a mechanical bull. That's the record. 32 seconds on this here bull.
That's right.
Is someone gonna beat it today? Let's find out. The town first riots about the stadium because they're like, strip balls suck.
Yeah, big business. Get out of here.
And Isabel's like, you know what? We're not gonna do anything unless it's good for the town. She should be the mayor.
Yeah.
Because the mayor was having a tough time with this. The mayor's like, shut up. Tough and the Tough Tones play an original. We all love it. Cash beats the record for the mechanical bull time. Gus kisses Missy.
Yeah. Gussie.
Let's go.
Cash is looking on in dismay. And Missy decides she's going to try her hand at the bull. She's going in slow motion. And guess what happens? We don't know. And that, my friends, was Ride Season 1, Episode 7, Ride or Die.
We did it.
Let's take a quick break. We'll come back and we'll break this episode down here on Deck the Hallmark. I like riding my e-bike.
That were a good ride.
That were a good ride.
That was a good.
It were a good ride this morning. I'll tell you that much.
I'm Brandon. I love e-biking.
I love e-biking.
Yeah.
Ride. I love a ride. I love ride. My e-bike. Let's talk about Ride. Let's start with a hot take. I'll start with you, Ryan. Ryan, what did you think of Ride Season 1, Episode 7?
Probably not a great sign that the recap brand sounded like a wait what by you, just by literally recapping the episode. But the cold open didn't grab me the way they were probably hoping. But like, you know what? Missy quit. It was at least enough of a thread to keep me latched on. Good, I got to watch the whole episode anyway, right? Janine makes the show better. My girlfriend was watching with me, and at one point, Janine says, quote, KK, and my girlfriend was aghast. And I was like, you know what? At least Janine's making someone feel something throughout the course of 42 minutes. And I think that just kind of leads into what I've been saying for weeks now, and I hope I'm not becoming repetitive, is that the show needs to be over the top. When we're doing something that other planning parties or losing memorabilia, like it's not good at all, but it's at least like, you know, if the show's gonna be bad, I want it to be really bad, and it's not, and it's not. It's somewhere in that gray middle area, and that I think is the worst place it could be. With that said, the relationship stuff continues to be interesting enough. And Cash, who I stand by what I said last week at the end of our episode, not incredibly likable, suddenly becomes likable enough when he's with Valeria. That stuff is working well enough. And then at the end, you know what? Great moment. Gussie, hashtag Gussie, Dan, air high five. All of that was beautiful, except I have no confidence in the show to stick the landing. And at that point, this whole journey would have been for nothing. But for today, we feast.
Today we feast.
Today we feast.
A veritable thumbs up to this episode from Ryan.
Well, I'll also give it a thumbs up. Now, we did something while we watched this episode, Dan, that we
drugs.
Well, no. Yes, and we paused it a couple times and had full conversations.
We did,
and I think that helped. I think that made it all feel a little bit better. Best episode of the season. Maybe. Lots lots go. This we get to see the Tough Tones. I don't know what else you want from me. The best worst band this side of the Mississippi, that side of the Mississippi, because we're on this.
Yeah.
Real fun there. The Tough Tones are. This show is one of my least favorite things in the world. I hate rodeo. It's turned me against rodeo.
Yeah.
Before this show, I was pro rodeo. I have fond memories of the rodeo. No more.
Yeah, you had 50 years, didn't you?
I more than I care to count. I'm out on rodeo. I'm out on ride. Dan, I'm disgruntled.
Yeah, this is bad. This is bad television. I don't know what these guys were watching. We did pause it a few times, and that did give us a respite from the bad. This is bad. These episodes are so wafer thin in the plot. Like, we are not moving towards anything. I just like it. You got this Dylan Neal character who the last episode Dylan Neal shows up and you think he's like this big billionaire who's spending tens of millions of dollars on the rodeo. And then this week it's like we find out that like, well, I've got to gather this cash from other people and there's like a board and it's like nobody cares. And so that wasn't even as monumental as we thought it was. Gus does kiss Missy.
Yeah.
That is it. That is the absolute defining moment of this episode.
Someone in the chat wants to know that Missy kissed Gus.
Yeah, excuse me. Missy kissed Gus. Yeah, excuse me. Well, that is important to note. But they kissed. Brand's love of the Tough Tones is overblown and overrated and just absurd.
You just got to find things and hold on to it.
You keep doing that. The Tough Tones are bad. We'll get to that later. It's not good, gang, and we've got 3 more left, and I think we can do it, but I'm not entirely sure.
Let's get to all the feels. It's where we talk about what in this episode gave us feels. Ryan.
If you're watching on Philo right now, we're on Dan's single, and then Brand's horse head just entered the frame.
Right over, and I thought something was happening. I was like, what is going on?
And that's my feels. That was that just now.
I heard you laughing.
That just now really tickled me. This is getting tougher by the week, this segment. But this is probably better for the wait what, but Tough's dancing.
Hold on, do you get a piece of the aggro crag behind you?
I do, yeah.
Oh my God, that's my feels.
Dan, go for it. You got
What's
it.
the aggro crag?
From Nickelodeon Guts, you monster.
Yeah. You have it. Yeah.
I'm the monster here. You recognized it, and he owns it. I'm the monster.
If you had seen Nickelodeon Guts, you would know how special that is.
It was the Olympics every week, Dan.
Not everybody gets a piece of the aggro crag.
Yeah.
It is not important. It can be important to Ryan, and that's fine.
Thank you.
But don't make me out to be a monster because I'm the one that doesn't recognize a piece from a Nickelodeon game show.
It's
more of a competition show.
Everybody here except you. So
great.
There's few things more monumental in my upbringing than Nickelodeon game shows. Whether it's Double Dare, Guts, Legends of the Hidden Temple. It's
I would
all
say a
more.
few things hyper specifically more monumental than owning a piece of the aggro crack.
No.
Yeah.
Now the Mallrats poster behind you, I'm down. I'm here for.
Thank you.
I would never be like, that's so important. I would be like, that's cool. Awesome. Good for you.
That's not, and anybody can get that. The piece of the aggro crack?
You can only get it from Mo and Mike O'Malley. You a Mike O'Malley fan, Dan? Because Mike O'Malley hosted
Mike O'Malley?
Mike O'Malley's fine.
Fine.
Nickelodeon Guts.
He's fine. He's fine.
Who is this co-host? With the
Mo. We're gonna go to Mo for the results.
We're going to Mo.
Yeah, for the results.
Co-host. How you feel about that? Is that the real aggro crag or is that a replica?
Let's go to Dan's all the fields.
There it is. It's a replica. It's not real.
We don't know that.
Yeah, we do.
I mean, I didn't answer one way or the other, Dan.
Do you like Ride?
Let's go to Dan's all the fields.
There you go. That's all I needed.
My feels is the aggro crag.
Yeah, my feels is this what we've been doing so far.
We should hit pause and talk more.
Also, my feels is also that Ride has done something great, and it's make Ron Klepper mad, and that does make me happy. So there's that.
Shout out to Ron. Can we please watch an episode of Guts?
No.
Like, dude. It's incredible.
Here's what we can 100% do it, but I can tell you right now, and I just want you to, I'm glad you're seated. It's not going to hold up.
It does hold up.
I think Guts would actually hold up. Out of all of those, Guts would probably hold up the best.
Guts is fantastic.
Yeah.
Legend of the Hidden Temple, an absolute landmine. Like no one can compete in that final challenge.
Oh, Night Terrors as a kid, the guys would just come out and grab you at one point.
Dude, I would poop my pants if I'm. You're out there, you're trying to go up, down, all around, and then the guys jump out from nowhere.
Brand, serious question though.
Yeah.
Do you think Nickelodeon at the time to get to the Nickelodeon studios, do you think it was a nice bus or a bad bus?
Oh, only the nicest
buses.
The highlight of my childhood is going to Universal Studios, going to the Nickelodeon lot.
Oh, you were there?
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, I grew up in Florida, so going to Universal Studios, taking a hard left straight to the Nickelodeon lot, getting to see the slime fountain. Oh
God.
Fantastic. Let's take a quick break. I got to kind of cool down.
All this Guts talk, Bran. It's too much in one morning.
It's too much. Let's get to the wait what. Are there too many wait whats? Let's find out. Ryan?
Yes.
I think it could be interesting if Dan just watched all of my childhood favorite programs, but then I think Dan and I's relationship would maybe take a hard left as well.
No, Ryan,
you'd respect me less, right?
No, Ryan, you and Bran are roughly the same age, and Bran and I are best friends, so don't worry about that. Okay. Bran's watched some really crappy TV. It's fine.
Fair enough. All right. Hey, the first scene of the whole show, is that the same Austin? Is that the same guy?
Yes, that's Rosner. Yes, it is.
Didn't look like him. All right, just making sure.
That's him.
Just making sure. All right, cool. The Nancy Travis love interest is eating lunch and here's people grumbling. Now, what does that mean? Like, how? Was he sitting next? How small was this place? Where's this guy eating lunch? Why is the McMurray family? I understand that they are famous and I understand that they are local heroes. But is anyone in this town ever talking about anything other than the McMurray family?
Nah.
No,
there's only 20 people in the town. They all show up to the bar for the beers and bulls night. I don't know. I got nothing.
It's stupid. Ride's Amazon equivalent is called Chaperone. And boy, do I wish someone was keeping an eye on the quality of this show.
Got him.
There's a mechanical bull at the bar, but we can't get one at the local heroes.
You got it. Now we're talking. Now we're doing something, Ryan. The local bar has a mechanical bull, but over at the ranch that does rodeo for their jobs, we got a tin can. That's what we got. Can't afford it. All the money's going to the McMurray expansion in the rodeo with McMurray Center.
Didn't understand it. I'm pretty sure it made me mad. Does Tuff say that his band is doing a 2-song set? Is that what he said?
I don't know if I heard that, but it wouldn't surprise me.
That's Brand's favorite musical act is the other crazy. And then one more. Nancy Travis talking about the quality of the McMurray Museum merchandise is the new equivalent to Kat telling everyone she's a journalist on the way home. It just keeps happening, and I want it to stop. Thank you.
Yeah, I got a few. One, Cash is over there practicing on the mechanical bull, and Missy shows up, and she's mad at him, and he's like, "Look at that over there, my brother. 32 seconds. That's amazing." And Missy goes, "He cheated." And I'm like, what?
He cheated at the
and then she goes on to explain the whole thing about how he cheated. He picked the bull for the hardest. And I'm like, he didn't cheat on the mechanical bull, right? Like, he still did that. 32 seconds.
She also says, Cash, that record isn't real.
Yeah.
And then we pan over to a plaque that shows you the record is real.
It's not real. He cheated.
It is
on real bulls, which means fake bull, not real. I don't know. I was confused by her frustration there. So Cash and Missy are on a date, and we cut to them after dinner walking back to the hotel, and we get some dynamite small talk from our guy Gus over here. He's like, oh, we're walking. Oh, no, we're not. We are walking. Make up your mind. And then, like, that's what he's saying to the girl that he's on a date with.
That's right.
He says, make up your mind.
They're
and then he
crossing the
chuckles.
street. The way he says it sounds like he's going to murder
Make
her.
up your mind.
Yeah.
Oh, he's great. Tough and the Tough Tones decide to unveil a new song in the middle of a mechanical bull riding competition.
That's right.
Talk about a downer.
Yeah.
Everybody's jazzed about people trying to break the record on the mechanical bull. And he's like, I got a new song. And it's slower.
Sounds like a Jimmy Buffett song. I know we've played nothing but country, but I'm going to go full island Jimmy Buffett Margaritaville for my original.
Yeah.
So that's fun.
And last but not least, I just got to say, this show has been pretty, cut and dry. They picked one heck of a time to like get artsy with it. With the way they end this episode, Missy finally gets on the bull, and I'm like, she's going to do it. She's going to do it. And the people making the show are like, what if we don't show the ending? What if we go full indie and we just don't tell you what happens? Forget you. That's a Tool move, man. I was excited to see her break the record, and now it's all just like, but she did it. And that's what really matters. Shut it down. She should have beaten the record. We should have seen it. It would have been great.
Darren Aronofsky directed the last 10 seconds.
Listen,
this week.
Let's not show it. It's better if we don't show it. It's better if you don't show literally anything else in this episode. But that's the one part we care about. And they just cut it.
Yeah.
Fade to black.
Mm-hmm.
She's still on the horse to this day. Dan?
Yeah, early in this episode, in fact, maybe the first, may have been after the cold open. I don't remember. The cold open seemed to last forever. We mentioned that.
Yeah, it was long.
And they were like, have you seen Cash? She's like, have you seen Cash? And Nancy Travis is like, hey, they say he's been spending a lot of time down at the bar, such and such. Do you think he's okay? And Missy like gets very upset and goes, I can guarantee you he's not drowning his sorrows at some bar. Can you do that? No. If he's been in a bar the whole time, can you guarantee he's just not drinking at the bar? No, you can't. It turns out he's not. What he's doing is he's practicing to break a local record that stood for years and years, too many to count. And he's going to do that with his offhand. Can you imagine? Wilt Chamberlain scored 100 points in a game. Can you imagine if somebody broke that record with their non-dominant hand?
Just to do it.
Just over the course of a week was like, hey, my dominant hand is injured. I'm going to go with my offhand and break a record. That is patently absurd.
And it's Wilt's brother. He does it right after Wilt dies.
That's right. That's right. 2 weeks later, he's like, I'm lefty, but I'm just shooting righty tonight.
This is how we honor him. Trust me.
I don't get it. I don't get it. It's a record. It's got a plaque on the wall, and he does it like it's
real.
Easy. It's not real. It's not a real record.
Not a real record.
Missy gets to go to Denver. Frontier's like, we'll send a car to pick you up. How do we know they didn't fake that? I can tell you how. Is because Frontier Jeans puts a skin on their car that says Frontier. Now, every other company in the modern developed world just sends a black car to go pick you up. It doesn't matter whether it's a Lincoln or a Mercedes or a Ford. Frontier's like, not on our watch.
Like the Best Buy Geek Squad.
That's right. Yeah. In this television show, Frontier, not a real jeans company, barely a real airline. They're going to send a car, and we would have totally been fine. Every viewer would have been like, Missy gets out of a black car. We would have known exactly what's going on. But Ride's like, no. We want to show you that we're using our money wisely. What if we get a black car and we pay to skin it with the word Frontier on both sides of it? Then you'll know we really picked her up at the airport. What are we doing? What is happening right now? What are they going to do with that car? That's not a real logo. Now somebody's got a car that's skinned in a Frontier logo that isn't for anything real.
Don't make fun of my ride, Dan.
Say what?
Don't make fun of my ride.
I
got to get around.
You got a steal on it, didn't you? Yeah, they probably didn't even bring you from Denver. They probably just sent it to you. There's some blueprints for a McMurray Stadium that we see, and it looks a lot less like a stadium and a lot more like a Blockbuster video. It is blue and yellow, and on a corner, it looks exactly like a giant Blockbuster video, and that actually makes me happy. Even though it should be a big rodeo stadium, instead we got what amounts to be somebody designing a modern Blockbuster video. Sometimes when we go out to eat, Brand, I'll do a bit, and the bit is if the food's taking a long time, I'll say, do they have to send out for that? We'll be sitting there with like 15 minutes, like, they have to send out for that calzone. And it's just something you and I laugh. Nobody else cares. But I'm like, yeah, maybe this restaurant called it in. Did they have to send out for that MRI? This MRI, they have been waiting for, I believe, what amounts to be a week for this MRI. Guys, professional athletes get MRIs within 10 to 12 hours. I had an ACL tear and got an MRI within a day. In 2008, I am sorry. There is no world where they are waiting for this many days for an MRI result unless they're just going to the worst doctor in America. I don't understand how that's possible. And yeah, that's all I got.
Let's get to the name of this episode, Ride or Die.
That's right.
Where we talk about what's riding, what's dying, and everything in between. Ryan, what are you riding or dying?
Everything in between. My ride is Gus is like a millionaire, right? He's a wealthy man. And this is why the character's so charming. He is flabbergasted that Missy was able to secure him backstage passes to this pageant thing. He's like, what? You got me what? Are we walking? Like, I mean, like, he couldn't believe it. It was charming. And then listen, I like Tough. Like, I thought they built up the original song a little too much because I was actually really ready for it, especially because Brand's texted me on the side of me like, you got to hear the new stuff from the Tough. Tough, actor of Tough, or maybe it was the direction. That guy can't dance. He is singing away in this thing. I think it was the first song of the 2-song set. He cannot dance. And sometimes, listen, I get it. I was from the era of the boy bands. You want to sing and you want to dance at the same time. I get it. But sometimes just find a stool, sit down and sing your heart out, man. Nothing wrong with it. No shame.
Yeah, this doesn't bring me any joy. No one's a bigger Tough Tones fan than me. No one's a bigger Janine fan than we are. We know her. We love her
for years.
She's our favorite
we've lost
character.
Count.
She made the band worse. Yeah. I'm here to tell you, I don't like saying it. It makes me sick to my stomach to even think about talking about.
It's tough to make the Tough Tones worse.
I know. I don't know. I think the Tough Tones were perfect as is. Maybe the new song just wasn't quite in Janine's sweet spot of a range, but I just didn't think that it worked. It didn't gel together, so it's a no for me, dog. But keep going. Keep trying. Maybe we'll get there. But the Tough Tones, I think, were pretty perfect as is Janine on her own. I think maybe Janine should go solo and really let it fly. But
let it fly.
Trying to work with Tough and the range in which Tough is singing, and it's like, I'll just sing down here. Didn't do anybody any favors, unfortunately. I don't like saying this. You guys know me by now.
Oh, yeah.
I love the Tough Tones. We love Janine. So this doesn't bring me any joy, but that's it.
My ride or die is this entire Miss Rodeo competition. And I think it's mainly die. I don't, if that's how we're doing these.
We are.
The judging of this makes very little sense to me. They're like, hey, we want you to choose this one girl, and she chooses a different one, and then they're about to announce the winner, and the woman comes up and goes, hey, I just got your report. What happened there? How many people are judging this event? Is it just Missy? Did her votes, everyone else played ball and her vote swayed it? Is it just her? And then the woman running the pageant didn't bother to look at those before they announced it? I just don't know how this all is taking place, and I'm sure we'll never see anything from it again, or this woman that wins the thing and gets to start this equine therapy. I'm sure we'll never see any of it, but the pageant in itself didn't really hold up to me. That was my die.
And no one knows pageants more than you. You know the
between pageants and the aggro crab over there, I have all of it.
The aggro crab social, the lobster social.
Yeah, that's right. The aggro crab social.
Sure,
yeah.
Were you on guts?
Oh yeah.
Look at that. They gotta climb up a mountain.
I'd never watched Nickelodeon. Not on my best day.
They gotta climb a mountain, Dan, and if they do, they get a piece of that mountain.
Great.
I watched Nickelodeon more years than I can count.
I have watched more Guts episodes than I care to count. I guess we did it.
Yeah,
we did. Congratulations! Only three more episodes.
Episodes left.
It's gonna be sad in a way.
It is going to be sad in its own specific kind of way. Until then, maybe we wish you a Merry Christmas.
Deck the Hallmarks of Bramble Jam podcast is produced by Aaron Shea. For more information on Deck the Hallmark, you can go to deckthehallmark.com. For more information on the Deck the Hallmark family, you can go to bramblejamplus.com. Deck the Hallmark is presented by Philo TV. For a free trial of Philo, go to philo.tv/DTH.